Hey everybody, this is Mike with Birdman Gaming, and we are back home from Gen Con. If you can't tell, we've got our desk, we've got our Gen Con 2021 playmat with the good old beholder here. Um, we're going to do something a little bit different this week and next. Um, as you guys know, I normally don't script any of my videos. I was actually going to script this one and next week's, but I decided not to because I got tired. Part of the thing with my medications and my illnesses. So, um, anyway, back in the before I get into any of that, scratch that. Before I get into any of that, first, if you could, please, if you haven't already subscribe to the channel. Say hey. Let me know you like my content. Um, of course, like, comment, and share. Um, it helps, even just interacting with a video with a comment or a like. It helps the YouTube algorithm say, hey, maybe let some other people see this, you know? I'd greatly appreciate it. With all that being said, um, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, right at the height of the first big TCG boom, everybody was creating games that was, they were trying to become the next Magic or Pokemon. We had anime style with Magi Nation. We had Marvel Versus, which is now a living card game from Upper Deck. We had we had Buffy the Vampire Slayer, TCG. We had there was hundreds of them. There was a TCG based on the prequel trilogy for Star Wars. There was a Star Trek TCG. There was a lot of them. And one that was actually quite popular was based on a movie franchise that started in the 80s, named Highlander. It lasted a while. The tournament scene was called, every time they had a tournament, they were called gatherings. And the big prize, of course, you always got prizes if you won your tournament. Usually some sealed product, and the big prize was always called cards called quickenings. Quickenings were added to I think it's your pre-game, to where it gave you more powers in your next tournament or whatever. So you were always trying to earn quickenings so that you could be more and more powerful going into the next event. And the game lasted several years. It was quite popular. I know back then I was living in Indiana, and I had friends who were actually among that scene and were constantly on the hunt for quickenings. But as with most TCGs back then, they couldn't sustain themselves. And so, like most TCGs back then, Buffy, the Magi Nation, the Star Wars TCG, all of those, they died. Well, there is a company that is trying to revive the Highlander TCG. They own the rights. They have printed a official first print for public consumption. um, of just 2 decks. That's going to be this week and next week's videos. And they have done some promos specifically for, they were handed out during Gen Con. There were promos for each deck. So this week we are going to cover Connor McLeod's deck. They have changed it from just the Highlander TCG to Highlander Pro. And I guess the first set is going to be called The Dawn of Time. I've talked with the company, including here very recently. And they are going to be starting their Kickstarter soon. You can, when they do, I'll link it in that week's video for down in the description of that week's video as soon as I hear something, or the video I record for that the video I record the week that they do it. They're ironing out the last of the details on the Kickstarter right now. As you can see, it says Kickstarter right here. That's going to help with the set size. I've spoken with them about when they officially release booster boxes and decks and everything to the general public at LGS's. If they're going to have foils in packs, they did say yes. There will be quickenings again for events. I'm an ambassador for them in my area, so I will probably be the person who's running our events in this area for Highlander. And we're only going to be I think we're only going to be doing one event a month right now, because I have to worry about how I'm getting to the shop to run the events. Once the product is released, I'm running the events and everything else. So, we are going to go through this deck, and we're going to go through the promos that you could get if you played this deck at Gen Con. I've waited until I actually got the promos in the mail because I wasn't able to stop by and discuss it with them so much, so I actually had to discuss over social media and everything. So I will link this down in the description so that you can read the rules. This is your turn order, exactly how everything is played. And there's Connor McLeod. You have, in each deck, there will be 4 double-sided cards. That is your main personality. And again, I will link all the rules. It'll explain all of this. I still don't have all the rules memorized yet, so I'm having to go back and forth to read everything. So that's your Connor. I think this is a skill. Clan McLeod. The faction that you're a member of. And your starting weapon, a katana. And that is the start to the Connor deck. Now, I don't know how we're going to have our rarities yet. I know this is strictly a pre-construct deck, so everything in here is going to come. The decks themselves are going to come built exactly like this, and you can modify them through buying booster packs or, of course, getting promos. So, basic attacks. You have 3 upper, 3 middles, and 3 lower attacks. That is your basic attacks. Then you have your blocks, which are also upper right, upper center, more upper right, it looks like. Okay, interesting. Okay, I'll have to contact them because the upper right is here and here, or here and here. However, that's left, that's right. And then lower left, lower center, lower right. Of course, the main thing that you're trying to do is you're trying to take your opponent's head with stuff like headshots. Then, of course, you have your events. It looks like it's going to be an interesting game. I wanted to get into it in the 90s, so I didn't know how to go about it back then. So, standing defense block, another block, dodge, a couple of those, special attack, which cannot be blocked. Allies. This deck actually has, Connor actually has an ability here talking about allies. Another event. Another attack. Ally. Event. Event. And this is exactly how the deck came to me when I picked it up at Gen Con. So, event, another unique edge, slash attack, another one of those, focus strike attack, a couple of those. Blocks, 2 of them. An event, edge, another ally. We have an object. And we have a location. And that's exactly the order that I pulled everything out. That's exactly how it was given to me, except for it was location then object. That was it. That is it on the Connor McLeod deck. Like I said, I will link the rule book in the description. But now we will have to go through our 6 promos for this deck. We have another ally. Another one. An edge. Then we have 3 double-sided cards. 2 sword masters. And you can read here. They both have the exact same thing. And Princes of the Universe. I saw this promo being previewed at a couple weeks before Gen Con. And I actually wanted this because the text on the back of this is some of the lyrics to the Queen song, The Princes of the Universe. And if you needed to zoom in, let's see if I can get that zoomed in real fast. And there we are. So that covers deck number 1. Next week we will cover the Kurgan, which is the other deck that they have produced so far. They've only produced 2 decks. And again, the Kickstarter is going to say how large the actual set's going to be. So we've just got to wait for that information. As soon as I have it, I'll let you guys know. With all of that being said, again, please like, comment, share, and if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And also, as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. I love you guys, and I will see you guys next week.